Hey guys, I am live talking about the Super Bowl and what happened this weekend. Sorry I couldn't get to you guys earlier. I'm going to try to make it a Wednesday, Friday, Sunday thing in general. Wed- Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Okay, for the timing. Okay, so yeah, I'm just typing something saying my new schedule from now on. From now. So yeah, if you guys were wondering where I was, I had to get ready for school. I was like, oh crap, I totally spaced out. But I'm going to be talking about football. So on football, I was not surprised by the AFC Championship. I did pick the Bill. It was just more wishingly at that point because by that point the Chiefs had too much momentum. If any team was going to beat them, it was the Browns, and I'm not going to go into that game. I feel like the Browns got cheated because Sorensen committed helmet to helmet, and that would have been 6 points. The 6 points the Browns needed to win. So I honestly I feel like that play alone is probably why they even got to those. I'm not going to go into it. That was weeks ago, but I stated my piece on that. We've got. And so I'm not really going to go into that game. I feel like Josh Allen did his job. I don't necessarily like the comment he made. He seems like he's more satisfied than he's ever been, saying they made the right choice. The Bills made the right choice in getting me. I mean, what other goal does he have at this point? The ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl, not be an almost team. Uh, so I was kind of disappointed. In a way, I feel like great for him. He finally feels like he fits in, coming from a school like Montana University. But honestly, and I think he had a great season, a great game. He scored 24 against the Chiefs. Browns couldn't do that, and the Browns are known for their offense. So and then he was without his starting running back Zach Moss, who Singletary's not that much worse. But they were down to one running back, and they were playing only in the pass game with that guy because apparently they didn't want him getting hurt. And the other running back they had was just I don't even know who the heck he is. I've never heard the name. So they need to get a better running game in the offseason. They need to sign somebody that's not those guys. I think they developed as far as they're going to go. So Bills just needed a better running game. I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to beat the heck out of TB12 in the Buccaneers, but that didn't happen. I guess Rodgers just. I noticed there was Aaron Jones went out quickly, but I don't think that was the problem. I just think Rodgers wasn't protected the way he usually is. I mean, Devontae Adams had a decent game, but there are a few drops, and, like missed plays by the other receivers. And all in all, I think they could have used Jamal Williams more because I think he's better than Dillon, but they kept using Dillon for whatever reason. I know Dillon may be faster, but when it comes to the acceleration, they kept using Dillon on short gains. He's meant for like a speed run, outside run. They kept running up the gut with a small guy like Dillon. Yeah, I think it was overall play call was the problem. So yeah, I think that was the issue and whatever mistakes that were made. I'm not saying Rodgers has no responsibility for it, but the play calls were terrible. I'm not sure who was calling the plays, and the protection was horrible too. I don't know what the heck happened from. I guess Bakhtiari was needed. Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones. So that was, but I'm still going to give Tom Brady all the credit. It's pretty tough to, a lot. I'm going to give him a lot of credit. He was really smart at being conservative when he needed to be and taking risks when he didn't need to. Fournette, he hasn't really played much all season, but when it comes to playoff time, we know what happens. We're seeing what happens back with Jacksonville. He carried Jacksonville to an AFC Championship where he almost beat Brady. They made a comeback, and I think he was playing hurt halfway through this in like the second half of that game, and they also started passing it way more than they should have as a result of that. But they also had Yeldon on that team, but like basically Fournette if as long as he's healthy, dude, you can't stop him. You can't stop him in the playoffs, especially when he has fresh legs. They mainly used Ronald Jones Jr., who's now kind of playing banged up, but that guy's great for the passing game. Fournette could work on his receiving game, but overall, like they have like a dynamic duo in that backfield. You never know which one's going to get the ball. So who needs a running quarterback at that point? It's like the Ravens, like caliber. Yet they don't have a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson. It's amazing. That O-line, Wirfs, was a great draft pick. So I'm going to credit. I know there were mistakes, but you don't always take. But it's tough to take advantage of every mistake, and Brady had to do that, and he did. Same with Fournette. I'm going to give Fournette and Mike Evans was a big player in that game. Gronk actually showed up as someone who was in the receiving game a few plays down the stretch, and he's usually a blocking tight end, so that totally caught him off guard. Bruce Arians coached a heck of a game. Todd Bowles, great defense coordinator right there. He actually really showcased well with the Jets, but then later on got fired because of his offensive approach. But hey, if he's only doing defense, that's a great defense. So yeah, that's really what I got from the AFC and NFC championships. On to the Super Bowl. I'm picking. I want to pick the Bucks to win, and to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of either team. To be honest, in fact, I kind of don't like him. I'm tired of hearing about Mahomes, like certain players. I like when there's an underdog in the playoffs or my team in the playoffs. There's really no one I'm tired of hearing about Mahomes on State Farm. I'm tired of hearing about Tom Brady for like my whole lifetime, pretty much. Like I was born in '98, and for most of my knowledge of football, like where I learned how to speak English. By the time I learned how to speak English, I think Brady was at least in his senior year or something, or like late in college, and we're already hearing about the guy. Basically, my developmental stages when I really started watching football for real, it started with Brady winning a Super Bowl against in the same years. The second year I started winning football, he beat McNabb, and I liked T.O. at the time, so I don't know. I still hold a grudge for him against that. I do like that Nick Foles somehow always beats him. Too bad we couldn't see a Bears Bucks matchup in the playoffs. That would have been kind of funny to see, and they would just put in Nick Foles for that exact game. That would have been funny. But I think Brady is pretty much like unbeatable. Like in the playoffs, he's showing he can do it without Belichick. I like Brady better now that I don't have Belichick on the team, but I was rooting for more of the Chiefs but then I have to watch I'm rooting for Brady actually if I had to pick. Here's why. Because it's his last couple of years, and I won't have to hear about him as much unless he becomes like an analyst and stuff. I don't have to hear about him watching games once he turns 45 or whatever when he plans to retire, and I'm banking on him retiring. And we just Philip Rivers retired, and Drew Brees. So and a bunch of guys that I used to watch retired. Peyton Manning a few years back, Brett Favre like a long time ago, but like almost a decade ago, less than a decade ago. Yeah, Andrew Luck retiring. Like these are all guys that I like could say I grew up watching and have retired in the last 10 years and less than 10 years. Yeah, I even remember dating back to like Culpepper, but his last season shouldn't mention. It was with the 0-16 Lions and they tried to lose. So, but like, what my point is, he's going to retire too, and I think, even though I really hate to say it, I'm going to miss the guy, but I want him to finish out his career strong. I don't like seeing people go out like the way Brett Favre did, where he just couldn't go anymore. Like, he couldn't throw, he couldn't do anything, he lost his ability completely. That I don't want to have happen to anybody, and I want this guy to go out with a bang. Maybe one more Super Bowl, and maybe maybe another deep playoff appearance. So yeah, I'm rooting for Brady. I think and I think if they run the football a lot and if they run the football and stay away from the Honey Badger and Sorensen, I think that and with that great protection he seems to have, I think the Bucks can win. Plus, their defense is better. They have Levante David. They have Devin Bush. They have Ndamukong Suh. They have all sorts of guys on that defense. Uh, something Bunting. I forget his other name. But that guy's been a beast. I'm just calling him Bunting because I don't remember. But he's a beast. They have all sorts of different versatile defenders, and hopefully if Winfield comes back, it's even better for the Bucks. I mean, they also have like their receiving core, like Mike Evans, their tight end, like Gronk, um, and Godwin. Godwin not so much on size, but they have the speed threat in Godwin on certain plays if they ever want to do like a deep route or a route that requires like run after the catch. Then they got Gronk, Bray, and Evans to pass to otherwise, and also that guy. There's another guy. I had to look up. There's another guy who's number. He's a smaller guy. He's a rookie. He's kind of overshadowed, obviously, but I saw him playing, and he was pretty good too. Brady says he's a number one receiver, but but also the Chiefs can't stop the run. I've noticed that against the Browns. The Browns didn't run it enough. But if you can get a lead by like I'm gonna say like a good 17, a good 14 to 17 point lead, and you're running the ball still effectively, they can't seem to stop it. So if you can gain a double digit lead, I'll say, and you're Brady, and you continue to not make mistakes and take advantage of their errors, and continuing to play that kind of, their defense continues to play that way with Todd Bowles and all like leading the way. I think it's gonna be a great game, but I'm picking the Bucks just because they have they have higher profile players everywhere versus just on offense and safety. I guess Chris Jones is fine, but I don't really think he's and I think it's Frank Clark was in D end, but I mean, I don't really see them. They don't have, those are just parts of their defense. They're spotty on defense. Sorensen's all right. I don't think that he's gonna, but he relies on size against smaller receivers. Godwin's smaller, but he's physical. I don't see him beating. He's gonna get a lot of problems guarding Mike Evans, and they're probably gonna put Honey Badger on Mike Evans and him, and we'll see what else happens. And then maybe Sorensen on Gronk with another guy helping him out. But other than that, they're leaving Godwin wide open probably. I mean, like they're gonna have to leave one of those guys open. I mean, and Gronk, even if he's blocking, that paves the way for the other guy, for one other person, and also the fact that he's willing to do a check down to his running backs like he did in New England, which was very effective with Tom Brady, because it's and they have to guard the run. I mean, it's just nothing that I don't see anything that I don't think they have the staff enough great players to stop the Bucks, and I think the Bucks can limit them to can get just enough stops that Brady can have it and win by like 7 to 10 points. And I do think it will come down to the fourth quarter. So, yeah. That's basically it for today. I will be doing a Madden video Friday, probably. So keep an eye out for that. Wait, I have to fix a typo. Why is there an M in Wednesday? All right, I spelled Wednesday wrong, but you'll get the idea in the chat.